What is up, Lego Gang? Nicole here, back at it again for another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Lego Icons Lamborghini 5000 Quattrovalvole Countach. And yes, that is as much of a mouthful as it sounds. But if you are a car fan like me, this is an exciting Lego set to be released. Of course, we already got a Lego Countach a couple years ago through the Speed Champions line, but this is the first time we're getting it in this scale, and I am just thrilled to have this. As someone who has driven this car and understands just how difficult this is to maneuver, I am more than happy to have this as a Lego set instead of an actual vehicle. Like, this is perfect for me. But the Lamborghini Countach was one of the most recognizable and iconic cars of the 70s and 80s, and perhaps of all time. When you think about classic sports cars, this is the car that tops a lot of people's lists. It's the one that people had on posters in their rooms. This was the car that people knew. I'm excited to take you on a spin of the Lego version, but please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It does help my little growing channel quite a bit. And I will say that this set was sent to me by the Lego ambassador, but of course all thoughts and opinions about this model are my own. So with all that out of the way, let's dive into the set. The Lego Icons Lamborghini 5000 QV Countach will have 1,506 pieces, releasing on July 1st, 2024 for $180 US. Inside the box, we get the instruction booklet, which gives us a little bit of a history of the Lamborghini Countach, as well as the 50-year evolution of the car from 1971 all the way until 2021. It's actually a pretty fascinating read if you do have the time to do that before you start building. And then on the next page, we learn a little bit about Sven, who was the model designer for this set. Now, the Lamborghini Countach was known for its over-the-top features and wedge design, and taking into consideration brick limitations, I think the designer got this as pretty close to perfect as you can. Now, of course, there are going to be some differences between a Lego model and the actual model, but I think that this looks pretty good with all things considered. There were some other colors considered for this set, but I'm really glad that the designer went with the classic white exterior with the red interior. It's just an iconic combination for this car. Some other colors that were considered were yellow as well as black with gold rims. This is actually a recolor that the designer did for himself, and it's sitting on his desk. I think it looks so cool. I would have loved to see that. But another color that was considered was red, and Lego thought it would look too much like a toy car, but I think it would have looked like Sideswipe, which would have been awesome. Let's talk about some of the really cool features in this Lego set. The Countach was known for its scissor doors, and this set uses a rubber band mechanism to open and close the doors. It's actually pretty brilliant, and I really love that about this set. It's a shame that the interior is impossible to access once this set is built because it looks absolutely stunning, and the building techniques as well as the lack of stickers in the entire set make it just absolutely wonderful to build. So the hood opens as well as the rear engine cover, which exposes the V12 engine, which is cleverly constructed from these claws and whips. It looks really cool once it's built. But for as many hidden compartments as there is no opening trunk. I think one of the biggest complaints people will have with this set is that proportionally the taillights are a lot bigger than the actual car, and I think the back end of this build will be an issue for some people who are very much sticklers on keeping it looking exactly like the car. But with all things considered, like I mentioned before with brick limitations, this does look really good to me. I think that the use of the new pieces as well as the angled building techniques make this really close to as accurate as you can be. And speaking of new pieces, the new pieces developed for the mudguards look insanely good to me. And also printing black on a white tile for the air intakes was brilliant, and I think it looks incredible. The windshield that is used in the Countach is also the same windshield that's used in the DeLorean. It's just a recolor. Now, the rims are actually the same piece, they're just reversed between the front and the rear tires. And I think that's brilliant because it makes it look like two different parts while saving on part usage. And speaking of NPUs or nice parts usages, I really appreciated how they doubled up on the back tires to create this illusion of a thicker tire in the back. This is something that I wish they did in the Senna McLaren that came out earlier this year. It's just brilliant. And you can see some technique that's used in the front of the car here, and that's for the working steering. The headlights in this set look really good, but they're not pop-up like the original car. And once I was building it, I could see how you couldn't fit it in there, but selfishly, I kind of wish that there was space or a way to modify it so that I could, but I can understand why it wasn't included. Despite some of the things missing in this set, I do think that it is a beautiful model with just incredible engineering. And while I think the $180 price point is very high, I can understand why they would be asking that, but still, I probably would have waited for a sale or double points to buy this set. But one thing is for sure, this is going to look amazing with your other LEGO Icons vehicles if you have them, or even next to the tiny Countach from a couple years ago. So this wraps up my review of this set. Please be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what you think, or if you plan on picking this up, and I will see you guys for the next one. Bye!